Tales of the Walking Dead, AMC's new show designed to mine the last vestiges of gold from the metaphorical gold mine that used to be the Walking Dead franchise, now 90% tapped with a hollow wind blowing through. But enough with the journalistic sounding nonsense. This first episode features your boy Terry big on steroids on the down low cruise, and hey, I don't hate on that, I just think it's important to be honest, sat around this place watching old football games and pissing his dog off by reciting it word for word.
It's through the Wolverine defense for 34 yards.
So he gears up, checks his outside monitor and says,
We're a code of P.
"We're the code of people?
We're a code of P.
We're the golden people?" Good to see AMC is still cranking up the music to 125% and the dialogue audio to 4%, because I don't need to be hearing what these people be saying. Subs? Yes please. Everything is going pretty okay. He's clearly getting enough food somehow to keep his body looking exactly the same, which I'd call bullshit on if I was able to see his bunker wasn't filled with protein bars and shakes, but they kept that away from me. He then sadly is forced to go out into the middle of the night with his pupster who wet the bed, and low-key, no joke, that breaks my heart, I love dogs, way to win a big fat emotional point from me. But moving on, they're outside. He hears noises, but for some unknown reason, he erects a pretty badass looking but weirdly positioned trap.
I hear him, Gilly.
Sadly, this is where the episode already dives into the kind of stupid. The device, whilst looking cool, is oddly ineffective. It only protects an insanely small area, and if your dog ran slightly outside of it, you're screwed. Logically, you'd quickly double back into the bunker. I mean, it's right there, but instead he goes defense mode in a really weird location. Naturally, everything you can easily predict comes true. The dog attacks and the walker kills it. Somehow Terry doesn't see it coming. Even though it'd take an uncomfortable amount of time looking in another direction to not notice it, but he manages it. And like I said before, he's a cool guy in real life, but not the best acting here. If my boy got bitten, I'd bloody lose my mind, but it is what it is. After burying the poor pupster, he continues living life in the bunker until realising he's out of steroids. He then grabs a box and starts to read a transcript between himself and a sexy lady he spoke to, who even knows how long ago, and randomly he decides to try and seek her out. See how she's doing with the whole end of the world shizzle. I don't know, I didn't write the episode or the character, who by the by seems to be doing incredibly well for himself with all that time basically alone in the basement. No mental issues, in top peak physical health with the same giant muscles as before. I only mention that because in reality, they'd disappear very quickly at the end of the world. But what can I say, AMC doesn't really take these shows seriously, sadly. Now on the road he runs into a trap, aborts the bike and somehow manages to walk into another trap. I mean, the dude is acting like he's out for a Sunday fucking stroll. He's managed to live all of this time and yet is unable to wrap his head around the prospect of not one trap but two. But it's okay, because it's there that he runs across sexy as hell Olivia Munn, a bomb ass lady in real life who in the show has night vision since she's able to see his physique inside of a net, and hell, I can't even see him in it. Now inside and tied up, AMC dishes up a rather disgusting tasting side dish of sexism. How dare he with this little irritating doozy?
Good luck driving it.
Oh, you think because I have two X chromosomes I can't handle a hog?
Because nowadays, almost no TV show can do without mentioning either race or sex in some context. Or should I say nearly any Western TV show. Although check out anything Taylor Sheridan makes. The guy is a 1% in these modern times in that he creates and writes shows like Mayor of Kingston, Yellowstone, 1883, and does them without injecting any cancerous woke juice into the scripts, and he deserves high damn praise for that. As the scene progresses, we're hit with another cringe fest in this comment.
That doesn't seem like a vegan's kind of gun.
Well, I haven't gone vegan yet.
I don't understand the reference to a vegan's kind of gun. Not sure what kind they'd use, and she hasn't gone vegan yet. Like, bruh, it's the end of the fucking world. Why is everyone so okay all the time with everything? They look Hollywood ready. They're all doing fine and dandy. It's annoying as hell. And then we're gifted with this awkward attempt at humour. I don't even know.
What's your name? I don't think you want me to come up with one. The nickname PP is the only thing coming to mind right now, so...
The next day, they're on the road together and driving in silence, and punch her in her sexy pie hole quick! Sorry, that was me being realistic when someone finally drops the gun they've been pointing at you for hours. So anyway, they're on the road, and luckily the bike never runs out of gas and has to be filled up, because AMC executives said that's too realistic, tone it down. Anyway, he pulls over the P and we're given yet another fine example of stupid ass writing as she very loudly starts talking to him whilst he urinates. He then puts on a pair of headphones headphones, which she's oddly okay with. Can't hear her now, can't hear any warnings. It also never done this once during their whole journey, so it's just weird, man. What the hell am I even watching? Do you guys and gals remember The Road, Viggo Mortensen? It was absolutely outstanding, and if The Walking Dead took 5% of what that movie created, it'd be a substantially better show, even just from a visual standpoint for clothing and such. Hell, go watch Black Summer on Netflix too. I'll never stop shouting out that far better zombie show. It's the tits. Now back on the road, they drive through yet more states and still haven't had to refuel, so that's great. The bike is truly of the future. Maybe it's electric, solar charged. Elon Musk would be proud, but I doubt it. They then pull over, have this little very contrived conversation.
See, Joe? Just when I think there's nothing left, the world reminds me there's still magic.
There's no magic. You're holding a Glock on me and we just saw 2 dead people stumbling around with maggots on their faces. I'm sorry. Some things are still nice.
That night, Forest Ninja Walkers managed to converge on the camp in a beautiful, perfect circle, very natural, and Munn, for some unknown reason, kicks one in the head like this instead of killing it normally, because that's the way The Walking Dead is going lately. Lots of really weird and unnecessary actions whilst fighting for your life, like this sweet little dumbass doozy right here.
What?
And then they kind of weirdly lock eyes for a moment. Not sure why mid-fight, but yeah, poignant, I'm sure. Back on the road, they travel yet more hundreds of miles and still haven't had to find gas. That's outstanding, really. Like I said, 2 thumbs up from Elon. He's loving it. Although even he doesn't believe it's real, because it's not. And The Walking Dead used to stay within the guidelines of reality before the apocalypse happened. Also, now that I think about it, literally nothing was said about how they went and fixed the 3 tires. They were torn up by the trap. You can't just patch it and add air. So did she have 3 identical tires lying around her cabin? I doubt it. After a long drive, they arrive at a place to spend the night and have some truly amazing dialogue back and forth. Do you like powdered oysters? Yes, I think so, but I won't thank you when you give me your food. You used to be married and he was a jerk? Massive shock. Yeah, we met at blah blah blah. My god, bruh, no one cares. I mean, listen to this and tell me if you give a shit.
We actually met at an inner discovery retreat. It's like yoga, like water therapy, and animal therapy, and art therapy. We came away with each other, but he also came away with something that helps him get rid of his energy vampires. We said a lot of mean things to each other the last time we talked. My friend was starting that organic farm and I wanted to help. He said if I left, then he would too.
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
I've been waiting for a miracle to take me there. And then you came.
Ah yeah, because nothing says miracle like a series of potentially deadly traps. Morning soon arrives, and again, in a series of multiple stupid moments, he starts the bike. She decides that instead of walking out with the book and telling him what she just read and found out, that she'd call him inside the building to do that.
What do you want?
She says, tired of hipsters waiting online by my house.
And he decides to leave the bike running outside. That's so smart! Shockingly, they also fail to hear the man tie up a fucking goat with a cinder block right by the entrance to the place, including a lovely handwritten note. They don't see it, they don't hear it. Goaty McGoaterson is a regular bro and keeps silent. It's magical and incredibly ridiculous. After this, the writing and acting goes from mediocre at best to worse. She goes full on vegan. Don't you dare say we're going to eat the animal, save the planet! And he rants at her in a non-believable fashion.
But you should have known that the gun wasn't loaded.
Why the hell would I?
Because obviously I hate guns.
She says he should have known the gun wasn't loaded because obviously she hates guns. I mean, look at this scene. It's terrible. It then ends with this cringe-filled cringe fest. I tell you, some writer was seriously patting themselves on the back for this shit.
You were so busy trying to survive the end of the world, yours never got started.
Now having split, Terry immediately finds the place he's after because that's how real life works. That is until he's set upon by a group of walkers. That's right, you guessed it, again in a massive circle. But he's saved in the nick of time by a bunker door opening remotely that he didn't see or hear but somehow notices in spite of the camo. Heading down, he meets the woman he's been after and I'm right away shocked at how much lighting she's keeping on all over the place for no reason. Like everything is on and I don't get why you'd drain your system so much, but maybe hers is conveniently limitless as well. In which case, great, superb. After a lovely chat where feelings are happily exchanged, the brownie drug she confusingly had prepared down below all of this time kicks in. She smears makeup all over her face. I'm not entirely sure why, and by entirely I mean I haven't a single clue, and then starts cutting Terry and yelling. It's not very nice hosting. They scuffle, she hits the universe's wonderful gem which saves him, and then she claims he didn't come alone in spite of being there all that time alone, and the woman clearly wandering aimlessly outside. She even calls the cloaked figure a whore, which is hilarious. I certainly couldn't see anything on that screen indicating a woman. Anyway, she pops up and this insanely weird interaction happens. I don't get it.
You should be scared.
Is that a question or a warning?
Afterwards we get filled with this hilarious fight scene. Wait, where you going, bitch? Release me! She literally ran at them with a spear. Then in what turns out to be the single greatest stupid mistake in all of The Walking Dead history, well, at least right up there anyway, they decide to leave the bunker entirely. I have no clue why. It's stocked with everything. Elon is proud, and yet they leave. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest. The next morning, the two have a heart-to-heart, and Terry forgets that prior to the end of the world, he'd already lived like 45 years with this comment.
My life. It never got started. I had something precious, and I did everything to make sure no one could touch it.
Then everything is full of hope and they wander off into the sunset together. The end. AMC continues to push out mediocre content filled with Hollywood-ready main characters suffering no ill effects from the end of the world whatsoever, making stupid decisions in a world filled with unrealistic scenarios. If you all enjoyed this, then hit the like button and tell me your thoughts, and tell me if you'd like a video on episode 2. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Chris Harris, Ted L, Inakami and Water, Manuel Morales, Marquez, Nick Wyndham, Warkeeper, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Blitzcow, Brandon Creer, Gaten 2000, Kieran Robinson, Cumfroig, Kim Munt, Magnus, Matthew Castelline, Nathan Burr, Sean, Ali50, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Guru, Isel Caldera, Yor Edvinson, Jonas Stahl, Jordan Samuels, Jaffa6263, Kelnock, Kepan, Kevin Nalter, Conito, Luis Cruz, Matthew Blanchett, Matt the Marshmallow, 9028, Sentimento, Storm 970, The Element Taylor Wars.